Hey, kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the beloved animated sitcom from seasons 12 and beyond, and the newest episodes, like this week's Why Do We Do It This Way? Well, plenty of other podcasts have explored the golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10, and we've already covered 11, so we are out here in podcast land to see if any of those episodes can match the golden age, ones we all know and love. And I say we because I'm just one annoyed grunt boy named Craig. With me, as always, is our other annoyed grunt boy,
Steve.
Hello, Steve, and welcome to a brand new season, season 37, and welcome to listeners, hopefully new listeners.
Yes.
If you don't listen to our podcasts on the norm, we watch episodes at random from older seasons, but if you just watch new episodes for a new take on reviews for those new episodes, welcome back. How was your summer, Steve?
It was wonderful. I felt like a 10-year-old boy in love because it was so wonderful.
Oh, that being said, if you didn't listen to our summer series, it was all about Bart and love.
Yeah, it was a real Bart summer, but here we are entering season 37, and I'm excited for a new, exciting season of The Simpsons. It's great because, we love to look at the old stuff and, explore, but it's also, I think, really fun to see the new and exciting things that are happening in The Simpsons world. It's an ever-changing thing. Something's new always is happening, and I think it's really cool to witness that in real time.
All right, with that long-winded sentence you just said, Steve is trying to get to the biggest news that we have besides season 37 is, as of this record date, it's officially, Steve, announced. And we've talked about this for years. Will there or won't be? But it's been officially announced that there will not be a Bob's Burger sequel movie. But there will be a Simpsons sequel movie. Finally, after, 20 years.
Wow.
The first film was released in 2007. This one will be released in July 23rd, 2027. Now, it's official, and apparently this takes place over at Disney's an MCU movie. A Marvel movie is supposed to be in this slot. But good old Bart and Homer pushed their way into that slot.
Wow.
But never push your way into slots, Steve, on your own accord. Always ask for consent.
Right. Consent is king.
Was this the biggest shocking news you saw today?
I mean, it's been a pretty quiet summer for news lately. I've been kind of bored with looking online for the happenings, especially in my own town. So I think this is the most exciting and most fascinating news I've seen in, I'd say, at least 10 years.
Maybe 20. But we knew there was rumors. And the fact that it's 20 years later, it was probably released in July of 2007, right? The first movie. Bonkers. And I remember there was the episode that came right out after the summer, which was what season, 21 or something like that, 22.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Bart write on the chalkboard gag was, we won't wait another 20 years for a sequel. And yet
here we are.
That's very meta, right? Is that the right term?
I think so. It's definitely Zuckerberg approved.
And I remember we talked about, if there was going to be a sequel, we figured, because of streaming, and then the Bob's Burger movie didn't make money at the theaters. I was assumed that this would be direct to Disney Plus, but
right.
It'll probably be in theaters, and then 3 days later on streaming, of course.
Of course.
Are we going to hold hands and go see this? Of course we are.
If we're still a podcast in 2 years... we should definitely make it a very special episode.
Oh, man, my daughter is going to be 3.
Wow.
Hopefully she is potty trained and talks by then.
And hopefully both of us are doing the same. Because
yeah. Well, she might have to change her diapers.
That's fair. Payback time.
Yeah. There is, of course, no plot or, is Bart going to be in it? Is Homer, Marge, Maggie? The contracts haven't been signed, I don't think, for the characters. I mean, Bart could be replaced by Timothy Chalamet. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe Homer will be played by Jeremy Allen White.
And Marge could be played by Terry Crews, for all I care.
Yeah, and Maggie, voiced by Chris Pratt. Weird.
And Lisa, why, that's going to be none other than Chara herself. She's still alive, right?
Yes, Gucci.
That reference is for our boomers. Steve, what are your hopes for the sequel? Would you come up with, like, if you had to come up with a plot?
Yeah, it's tough. Part of me really wants to go back to the original movie concept and have it be Camp Krusty. But I also wonder if that's relevant to today's kids. Do they go to camp? Do they know Krusty? I mean, I'm sure they know Krusty, but you know what I mean? Like, is it as timely as it was back in 1994 or whatever? I know you could just have, like, kind of like the soft reboot, like so many movies nowadays, and have, like, actual Hank Scorpio playing Cargill like we were hoping for in the original movie. But I think they should go a completely different direction. I want a very Springfield-centric episode with a lot of interaction with, like, a lot of characters. And fuck it, I say make Burns the main villain and have him kind of, like, do an epic bad guy thing, kind of like Who Shot Mr. Burns, but have a lot of intrigue. And then you could have guest stars and all that. But, like, I want it to be grounded in Springfield with, like, the whole of Springfield in it. I want to see, like, B plots with, like, Comic Book Guy and Wiggum and all that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Something grounded, but I also want, like, robots and fantasy stuff, because I want that too.
So you want a realistic movie, but with robots and dragons or something.
Exactly. What are you looking for in Simpsons 2.0?
And this kid really liked the guys in Speedos. I'm wondering if it's going to be like what's the popular things of the time? And of course, like the Marvel movies, right? Are they going to do a Simpsons Multiverse of Madness movie?
Yeah, I could see them doing that.
Is it going to be a, like, glorified treehouse of horror, or is it going to be like a canonized film like the Simpsons movie? I'm hoping more it's canonized. Yeah, and I was thinking, like, you were saying, like, reboot. It got me thinking of when Kevin Smith did Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which was very funny because it was just the same movie as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but rebooted. And what if they do the same thing of, like, maybe now Hank Scorpio is back and then the dome thing happens again? Like, they just repeat the same story, but tell in a different way. Yeah, I don't think it would be a direct sequel to, obviously, the first movie. I think we're going to do something else. And I got to be thinking about, like, other, like, successful sequels, or at least in my eyes, successful sequels. They always talk about, like, Empire Strikes Back or Godfather 2, that, can you make a sequel better than the original? And, well, I know, like, the Simpsons movie did well critically, and a lot of fans liked it. It's still kind of like a lot of old school fans just, like, are still timid about that film. Of course, I want it to be funnier and better than the first film. And when we talk about, like, metaverse and things like that, like, Back to the Future 2, I always think about kind of did that, The cool thing is they got to go back to the first movie and you got to see it from a different perspective with a different Marty. And I wonder if you do something like that, maybe, or do the trope that every movie does, that the Simpsons go to Europe.
That's right.
Even though they've went to every country already. So is the sequel going to be the Simpsons going somewhere outside of Springfield? And I hope it's not that.
Yeah, because they've been on every continent, I believe, at this point. Maybe not Antarctica, but,
I don't know. I hope it is a Springfield epic. And the fact that it's coming on 2027, isn't the show proper, like, that's where it's contracted up to, is 2027?
Yeah.
Or maybe 2028. Like, I don't know. Is this a possible, like, ending point of The Simpsons? I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Like, or maybe it's a chance to reinvent the wheel. Like, maybe in the movie, they finally get kicked out of Springfield and they have to move to a new town and we get to be introduced to a whole slew of new characters.
What if they make the joke of, how, like, every animated film that comes out, they always announce, like, A-list actors doing the voice, even though, like, kids don't give a shit who is voicing these characters for kids' cartoons. They think because it'll appeal to adults, like, ooh, look, Sam Neill's in this. I don't know why I pulled Sam Neill out. But wouldn't that be funny if, like, they're like, the original cast is not the voices and you get celebrity. So you do get the Chris Pratt as Homer Simpson. Pratt is Bart Simpson.
Sofia Vergara as Marge.
That would be a funny joke if they do that. Like, that's the beginning of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, and of course, we're gonna see it. Yeah, I at this point, I can't think of, like, how would you do a Simpsons sequel movie, and I feel like they've probably been working on it now. So we'll be there day one, right?
That's right.
We'll have to do a podcast about it, of course. But in 2027, like podcasts won't exist the way they do. It'll be like anal cast or mind cast. You just put a pill up your butt and you can hear us.
Which you can do now. I mean, if you want, like one of those
earpods, yeah,
or one of those like JBL pod speakers that people like to put on public transit. Just shove one of those up your ass and go to your favorite podcasting app and play us.
Again, I'm just still like shocked that the news is real. And you know what we should do is you know how like when trailers come out for movies and there's always people doing reaction videos that are a little too much overreaction to something, like,
sure,
oh my God, there's a lightsaber
in the Star Wars movie. Who could believe it?
We'll have to do a live reaction video for
I
YouTube.
like it. Yeah,
with overacting and everything. Oh my God, there's Bart. Oh my God,
he's on a skateboard.
Ooh, speaking of Bart, do you think we'll see Bart's hammer again?
I think they should, mix it up. We've got a whole another crew of people. Like there's 4 more people in the family. So Homer?
I think we're definitely going to have to see Homer Hog.
Yeah, and maybe some Marge butt.
And maybe, no, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be like another character? Is this going to be the end of Grandpa? Like, do you think they're finally going to kill off a character?
Ooh, maybe. Maybe they can kill off like Duckman or...
They're probably just going to kill off every Harry Shearer character so he
That's
can
true, yeah.
retire in peace. Yeah. All right, Steve. Well, that's the news. I think the bigger news, of course, it's season 37, episode 1. Steve, we made it to a whole new season, 37 in a row. Here we go. We're talking about thrifty ways to thieve your mother. Lisa is welcomed to school super elite fashion club when she wears Marge's vintage clothes from the 90s. Steve, let's go ahead and watch that episode.
Sounds great.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about thrifty ways to thieve your mother. It's the first episode of the 37th season. It's episode 791 in the show's run. Original air date September 28th, 2025. The nerd code is 36ABF3. Written by Jessica Conrad. Directed by Gabriel DeFrancesco. Your showrunners are Matt Selman, Cesar, Mazariegos, and Al Jean. And Steve, it's interesting telling of the nerd code 36ABF3, which means this episode was originally produced for the 36th season, being the 3rd episode. So do we have to put ourselves in the mindset that this should have aired in 2024?
I think maybe, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think if we go a little lower our expectations just a tad bit, maybe we'll enjoy it more for a season premiere.
Well, sure. I think it's because last year's big season premiere was the Bart something with Conan O'Brien was in it, right?
Yeah, Bart's Birthday, which was in fact written by Jessica Conrad, just like this episode, because she has written to date 8 episodes, and after we review this one, we've done all of them except for the first one that she did, A Springfield Summer Christmas for Christmas, which is the 10th episode of the 32nd season. But aside from that, we have One Angry Lisa, The King of Nice, My Life as a Vlog. She helped out in Treehouse of Horror 34, as you mentioned, Bart's Birthday. And most recently, she wrote Treehouse of Horror Presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes, which was the 6th episode of the last season, which we talked about in our 303rd episode.
Now, I don't remember what we thought of any of those episodes, except for I think Bart's Birthday we really did enjoy.
We liked that one. I feel like the Treehouse of Horror Presents we were a little underwhelmed by, and I don't remember any of the other ones.
Do we hate this episode? Well, we don't hate any episodes.
Right, no. I don't think we disliked any of them. I just think they might have been not our favorites.
Right, and will this episode stick with us, or will it come out our butt like diarrhea would?
Profound. That's something to think about, yeah.
Again, these episodes are diarrhea. I'm just trying to think of the last thing that came out of my butt.
I truly don't know if you mean that complimentary or not.
I don't know either, and let's just begin the episode, Steve. I have no segue for that.
Where our episode and season 37 begins, as it always does, with the Simpsons headed to the Aztec Theater to see a movie on opening night, something they haven't done for years. And Homer remarks that movies are back. But Bart then imagines all those chumps waiting a whole 3 days until the movie is free on streaming.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last time I went to an opening day movie. It actually might have been the Superman movie. I think not like midnight showings, but
Right.
The day of, like, it was a Friday. I think that Friday. Because we got a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that important for Craig to see Superman, so I think that was the last one. And the next one, like we said, probably the intro, it probably will be The Simpsons Part 2 in 2027.
I think the last movie that I saw on opening day was probably Spider-Man Into or
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. No, Across the Spider-Verse. I went by myself because I didn't want people I love to see me cry while I watch a cartoon. But yeah, and I probably won't see the next one until 2028 or when it comes out, which is really just the second half of that one. So
yeah, that's weird. The second animated Spider-Man movie. Yeah, that's been a while, hasn't it? I think it's gonna be about the same distance from Simpsons 1 and 2.
I think so. Yeah,
20 years. Yeah. So hearing Bart's comment, Homer slams on the brakes and turns around, and then 3 days later pops up on the screen and says the family, and they're sitting at home watching Hungry Hippos Multiverse of Munching, which shows 4 of the bored semi-aquatic and mammals from various dimensions where they are portrayed as Elvis, a detective, a robot, and a Dracula. They are ready to watch the film as the creator intended, on a small screen full of ads like this one.
I'm Dr. Janet Grody, creator of Snoof Total Body Deodorant. It's for all your grossest places. Just rub it right on your butt cleft, under pouch, stink flaps.
How can I say those words on TV?
Peat bog, smuckle, stunk tank.
Come on, skip ad.
Between hatch, gunk channel, boob swamp, elbow crotch.
Elbow crotch? I have one of those.
Finally.
You're a real man, and real men have scrotum dust.
Oh, for the love of...
Have you got butt rot?
Does your stank stink?
Looks like it's dingleberry season.
Enough!
Now, Steve, I don't know if you experience this watching a lot of ad-supported TV, especially like your Pluto TVs and even your over-the-air broadcast television stations. The amount of these type of commercials. Now, again, I'm not a prude, but this commercial, the main one, is very much there's a focus on women's hygiene, and the commercial it's a good parody because it's just literally like it looks like she's just holding, she's just on herself and recording this like it's real, like a real person.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel about these like very blatant, like, your vagina's so stinky, clean it up, ladies?
Growing up in the 80s, there was such like delicate talk, especially around women's hygiene, which is also kind of weird and like Puritan and conservative, but it's like you'd only see like blue liquid being poured into a maxi pad and be like, oh, that's just what it is. And so for them to be so hyper specific with it is both gross and I guess kind of progressive. But what really bothers me are the men's ones, like this like macho, like the Dr. Sasquatch, and all those more focused on podcast ads. But my least favorite, unless they want to become a sponsor, is like the Manscaped about like shaving your balls, just because they're so like descriptive and like so like, don't nick your nuts, get it, and like, and we'll like give you some ball pourri to make sure like when your girl's going down there, it's going to smell like charcoal. Like, it's just gross.
Yeah, one of the commercials that I think is weird, especially because I watch like live sporting events, and a lot of these commercials will pop up, and I think even like I'll watch like Me TV, not Me Too TV, but that's just mostly the Cosby reruns, but Me TV tunes, and they'll show these commercials, but the one that's always mind-boggling is like stuff for Peyronie's disease, and they'll have like images of like bananas like all over the thing, and so it's like, men, don't be embarrassed about your Peyronie's disease.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not making fun of Peyronie's disease, Steve, but if you're watching cartoons or sporting events with family and kids, again, I'm not a conservative prude, but maybe I am when it comes to this, because I'm like, what if like my kid who's like, we like like 6 years old, and see these commercials and like, Dad, what are they talking about? Peyronie's disease. Like, they have to say, well, child, it's when a man's erect penis just kind of curves to the left or the right, to the up, down. It's just kind of curved. Do I have to explain this? No. Like, why are these ads, broadcast on cartoons and sporting events? Like the Super Bowl, will have ads like this. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of getting conservative as being older and a father.
It is weird because my wife and I watch a lot of streaming TV with ads because we're not millionaires yet.
Says the people with 2 Apple accounts.
Okay. I've had mine for like 30 years. We get a lot of ads for AIDS medicine, which, first of all, I'm really glad that they've cured or come close to curing AIDS. But like the ads are very focused towards like a gay male demographic. And despite what my wife watches most of the time, we're not a gay male couple. And we like last night we were watching TV even, and my wife like jokingly pulled up the remote and said, "Hey Siri, we don't have AIDS." And again, like if you do, I'm glad that there's help for you. And I know it was a horrible thing in the 80s and the 90s. And oh God, no, AIDS is bad. I'm going to say that right now. I know it's controversial. And I'm glad there's medication for it.
Steve, the audio cut out. All I heard you say is like, I'm glad you have AIDS. And that's all I heard you say.
That's fine. But yeah, television is weird. Also, one last note about that. I'm a big fan of bears. I hate the Charmin bears. They're gross. And so them making fun of them, it's Dingleberry season. Very funny.
I just hope that one of these days they will learn what a bidet is. And then the bears will be super happy.
Fed up with the crass and far too casual personal hygiene ads, Marge unplugs the TV and grabs her DVD collection and its player, adding that DVDs were never dirty. So upon seeing the collected media, Bart jokes that someone must have had a crush on Kevin Kline, leading Homer to defensively respond that everyone had a crush on him back then.
That was a nice going to Homer. Yeah. Dave's a pretty good movie. Isn't it Sorkin?
I think so, yeah.
Marge then finds the first season of one of her most beloved shows, Keegan's Pond. No, that's not a sketch from Key and Peele, Steve. As she describes it, it's about 4 teenagers played by 20-year-olds with the problems of 40-year-olds. And Homer may feel that the show stinks like stink flaps, but he and Bart can't escape to Moe's since it is a school night. I like that. When Homer's like, all right, Bart, let's go to Moe's.
Yeah, why not? They can go get a duff. Of course, Keegan's Pond is a parody of Dawson's Creek, which we'll talk about later. But as Marge plays the teenage drama for Lisa, she points out that the titular Keegan, she had a huge crush on him, Sean Garrett Evanson. And meanwhile, in the kitchen, Homer and Bart are on the laptop looking for the manliest show for manly men. And they find Clincher, which follows the adventures of John Clinch, an ex-Ranger, ex-CIA, ex-Navy SEAL, who doles out his own brand of justice with his fists.
And that, of course, is a parody of the Amazon show Reacher.
Mm-hmm.
So Homer is intrigued at the word fists, and Bart is impressed how quickly the show jumps to violence. So back in the living room, Marge and Lisa watch as Keegan broods in his bedroom when the girl next door / probable love interest climbs a ladder to his window, taking Melissa Etheridge's lyrics to heart. So she checks to see if he's okay after the rumors of Keegan crying at swim practice.
Oh, no. So Keegan tries to hold back his emotions, but then begins weeping. It seems his dad feels that film school is for sissies, and Keegan's wall happens to be plastered with French film posters like Amelie. And of course, this is a take on Dawson of Dawson's Creek, who was a big fan of Spielberg and wanted to be a filmmaker, evidently. But Keegan's father would rather that he follow in his far more masculine footsteps of being a wedding planner.
I was just thinking about like that line of crying at swim practice.
Uh-huh.
Like you're already in swim practice with water, so you could easily hide the tears.
Since we're living in 90s town, it reminds me of the movie Ernest Saves Camp, in which Ernest P. Worrell has a song talking about how glad it is that it's raining so people can't see his tears. Because I don't know what happened, but he was crying about something. And I just thought, like, as an 8-year-old boy, when I watched that on TV, how profound that was. Like, oh, no, we can see him crying because it's raining. It's beautiful.
It also reminds me of my favorite scene in the spoof comedy film, not another teen movie, when Kyler Lee's character she gets thrown into a pool and she's all wet and she comes out, and Jamie Presley plays like the bully teenage girl. Again, it's funny because, they're like 30-year-olds playing high school kids. So Kylo Ree's already soaking wet. And then Jamie Presley takes a glass of water and throws it into her face, and everyone like gasps because she's got water in her
That's
face,
funny.
but she's already wet. It's a very funny joke. Yeah, so after Keegan's dad stumbles into his room demanding help with centerpieces, again, I like how the dad portrays this gruff, like, man's man, like 50s version of man, but
Right.
a wedding planner, which nothing,
Yeah.
I know it's not effeminate, but it's just very funny. So Keegan's crush takes him to a place where he'll always be safe, which is Keegan's pond. So the budding couple share that they will be together for a long haul, but their sweet moment is interrupted by a sea-doo zooming by and knocking them off their boat.
So Marge and Lisa continue to watch, enjoying some hot cocoa, while Marge braids Lisa's hair while she brushes Santa's little helper, who grooms Snowball too. And after all the laughter and tears, they reach the finale of the first season, where Keegan may have to go to jail, thereby missing junior prom. Lisa is hopeful that they have the second season, and Marge thinks that it may just be up in the attic.
So the camera goes up to the attic, and in classic Simpsons form, they do the pan up, and inside between the floors, there's always sight gags, and we see now there's an unfound Easter basket between the first and second floor. And then we see Homer enjoying more clincher while on the toilet, presumably dropping a deuce, and some Fabergé eggs in the floor between the second floor and the attic. So when Marge finds the DVD collection, she's reminded of her unfortunate haircuts that the cast had in season 2, a la Carrie Russell and Felicity, who we also talked about in one of our Patreon episodes when she was starring in Mission Impossible 3. That's when Felicity had the good hair in that movie.
Much like Becky with the good hair. Well, digging through Marge's old stuff, Lisa finds a sunflower print dress that reminds her of that one that Lady wore in the episode where she got drunk on cough syrup, thereby blowing her audition to Juilliard. Marge admits to wanting to look just like the TV character, saying that everyone wanted to emulate her.
So to further prove this point, she finds a picture in her yearbook of her and her school pals under a banner that says "Celebrating Individuality," as all the girls in the photo were in the same red shirt under a pair of coveralls made into shorts with one strap unbuckled. Looking at Marge's former wardrobe, Lisa points out their clothes are once trendy again. As we'll hear in this clip, Marge suggests that Lisa try on the dress.
I bet that would fit you. Oh, you look just like a little me. Trying to look like a little Sarah Jennifer Judson. You should wear that to school.
I don't know, Mom. I've kind of gotten used to flying under the radar, attention-wise.
But it's cute.
It kind of is.
And then Clincher was like, "Peace be with you, Father," but he meant peace like a gun. Then he punched the priest with the gun.
Oh, wow. Time for work, dear. The clinker will be here when you get home.
It's not Clinker, Marge. It's Clincher. Thank God she's good looking, right?
I don't know about this, Mom.
Oh, Lisa, you're adorable.
I guess, but what if someone looks at me?
Oh, no one's gonna look at you.
Oh.
I love the Marge giving the name of the show Ron Clinker.
Mm-hmm.
That's such like mom thing to say. You remember as a kid, like your mom would like say, "Oh, you like those karate turtles, right?"
Yeah. Those lightning kitties are so cool.
I remember this was like more like I was in my 20s and a friend of ours, mom, we were talking about Ghostbusters. She's like, "Oh, you loved those movies when you were a kid." And the famous lines who you gonna call, but she said, "What you gonna do?" Thinking that was the line of who you gonna call.
That's really funny.
What you gonna do? No, it's who you gonna call. And then the end there, of course. When people are gonna look at me, no one's gonna look at you. Like,
Yeah.
the opposite.
I also like the dynamic of Homer whispering to Bart, "Thank God she's good looking." It's just a funny thing because Homer Marge dynamic is like, in that scene, is like she's his mom, and yet Homer is like telling his son that it's a good thing that woman is hot because she's also stupid. Like it's very complex. The more you think about it, it's very confusing.
Like a rushing nesting doll.
That's right. So Lisa boards the school in her sunflower dress and chunky Doc Martens, causing all the shoving kids to stop in silence. So as Lisa deals with being perceived, Marge thinks about how fly Lisa looked. She finds it funny how things come back in style, such as the word fly. So Marge goes about her daily routine, looking for confirmation from Maggie that wearing your mom's clothes is as cool as it ever was. And then Marge realizes that she may have made a huge mistake.
Lisa nervously makes her way to the locker, aware of all the eyes staring at her. She asks Janie if her outfit is all right, but Janie explains that she, along with everyone else, is waiting to find out what they're supposed to think from the school's fashionista. So concerned about the response, Marge pulls up to the school, hoping that Lisa isn't being consoled by the janitor. Just a fun mental image of Willie consoling Lisa. She arrives just in time to see the style council make their judgment on Lisa's new look.
Retro vibes, but still of the moment.
It tells a story, and that story is look at my outfit.
It worked!
She took a risk and it paid off.
I can't believe it. My little girl is fashionable.
And then at lunch, when I went up to return my tray, everyone clapped. Oh no, I can't go back to this dress that we bought at CVS. Please tell me you have one more cool outfit.
Oh, I can do better than that.
All right, so we meet the fashionistas. So that's Stephanie Shu as Vidalia and Cole Escola as Devon. Stephanie's best known for both acting and voice work. I first saw her in Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's also been in Blue Eye Samurai and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And then Cole Escola is a writer, actor, producer who was on Search Party, At Home with Amy Sedaris, a number of other things. And he's also worked behind the scenes on Hacks and the other two. And most recently, he's gained notoriety for writing and initially starring in the hit Broadway Oh, Mary, which is about Mary Todd Lincoln. It's supposed to be very funny. He's been since replaced by Titus Burgess and Jane Krakowski, both of Kimmy Schmidt fame.
Good for them.
Yes.
Yeah, Stephanie Shu is in a lot of things that I watch. I mean, I think she's in Shang-Chi.
Yes, she is.
And of course, yeah, I think Mrs. Maisel was the first place I saw her. And she's great on that. She's great in everything.
Mm-hmm. And Cole Escola is also very funny. Kind of, him being on Amy Sedaris makes a lot of sense because he has her kind of frenetic, crazy energy in the best way possible. And his role on Search Party is wild.
There was 2 seasons of that show, right? I remember the first season. I don't think I saw season 2.
I highly recommend the whole series. I think it's just 2 seasons just because it's so weird and the places it goes, I would not expect. And it's just a fun time at the TV.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
Oh, the places you'll go. Yes, of course. And they hop on cops. Marge showers Lisa with her old clothes, and Lisa revels in showing up to school in a new outfit day after day. A ringer tee and cargo pants one day, coverall shorts and a black and white striped shirt the next, a fashionable cape over a pink top, and then a butterfly tank top with flip-flops. All these new looks garner attention from Lisa's fellow classmates.
As Lisa sports a schoolgirl preppy chic look, Devon calls out to her, assuming that she's a new kid. Devon introduces himself, explaining that his name is spelled like heaven, but with a D and no A for an I, and the second E. It's very funny. Vidalia then air kisses Lisa, saying that there was concern that she may have been a one-fit wonder, but her vintage looks have been great.
So Lisa is welcomed to the fashion club, which takes place in the music room. And Devon tells Lisa that they took over the music room when Mr. Largo died. And Lisa is stunned to find out that her music teacher is dead. But Devon then replies that it may have been jury duty, or it was something dumb. And so Lisa is then invited to show off her fashion fighting skills.
Honey, I love your eye. You're coming thrifting with us this Saturday. Let's see you in action.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Downtown, noon. You better like boba or I swear to God.
Terry, I didn't know you were in Fashion Club. Where's Sherry?
Please, have you ever seen Sherry slay or so much as serve? Keep walking, Kmart.
Steve, do you like boba?
I love boba.
I'm more of a Mandalorian fan. Okay. Dumb joke. I like how we have...
You're really swinging for the fets. It's okay. Looking for the pet service.
I like how Terry and Sherry aren't twins anymore.
Yeah, this is the first time one of them is throwing shade at the other.
You know what's funny? I was out and about this weekend, and I saw twins in a store, and I'm thinking like, I don't really see twins that often. Like, they're adult twins, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to ask Steve when was the last time he saw twins. Like, in a weird thing, and I'd forget. Like, oh, wait, he's married to a twin.
Yeah. And I lived with both of them for like a decade.
And you never knew which one was which. And that made for very awkward showers.
It did. It was sitcom and hilarity and mistaken sex all the time.
And especially with your sister-in-law's partner, too. You didn't know if that was your wife either.
Yeah, it was awkward, but a lot of fun.
Is he still listening to this podcast? Probably not.
Probably not.
He can't sue us for slander, right?
Not slander if it's true.
Oh, jeez. I do like that before the clip play when Devin was like, Mr. Lago died, and Lisa's freaking out. Like, you would think that she would know if he had jury duty, right? And like,
yeah, I mean,
she has band class.
Presumably she's there every day. Like, we see the intros. She's always playing her saxophone or another instrument, so.
But how funny would that be? Like, he actually died off screen and like we never see him again.
That would be kind of funny because who cares if, I mean, it's sad, but like, it's Dewey Largo. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, you remember how when Marsha Wallace sadly left us and they would have kind of a rotating guest star, like for Bart's teacher, like you had Sofia Vergara in one episode. Now it's Kerry Washington, but you could have like a musician playing like a new, you know, like right now, like who's the biggest right now is like Bad Bunny, right? Like Bad Bunny, has he already been in an episode of Simpsons? I don't think so, but, or did they do like a Disney Plus Bad Bunny? I don't know. Anyways, but like, yeah, like he could be the music teacher for an episode, or, you know, bring Lady Gaga back into another episode.
Sure. Paul McCartney can come back. Keith Urban.
John Lennon. Over at Springfield Nuclear Power Plant, Homer watches another episode of Clincher on his tablet. In the action drama, our hero is surrounded by a motorcycle gang, kicking a biker and his hog. No, Steve, not his hammer, but his actual motorcycle, into an ambulance. And Homer laughs, remarking that he hopes that the ambulance has medicine.
Just then, Carl runs in, requesting Homer's help, because he says that Smitty has been trapped between two. But before he can finish describing Smitty's plight, Carl is drawn in by the action show. And then Lenny runs in to Section 7G, saying that Smitty is running out of oxygen, but he's also distracted by the violent adventures of Clincher. So before long, several plant employees, Smitty, and his paramedics are all surrounded by Homer and his tablet as they watch Clincher.
I kind of like how Mr. Burns is also there.
Yeah.
It's just really funny that imagining Burns coming in to like, where are these people that are supposed to control this plant? And then he sees the show and is like intrigued by it as well.
Ooh, excellent.
As Lisa compiles her new wardrobe, Marge is excited to tell her about an event happening the following weekend at Springfield Convention Center. It's Nostalgia Con. Where are they now? Featuring TV stars of the 90s in varying degrees of recognizability, such as
Steve Urkel from Family Matters,
Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell,
Pamela Anderson from Baywatch,
and what appears to be a bald guy in glasses and maybe like a Star Trek uniform.
Is it me?
It could be you, but if they're trying to make it Patrick Stewart, it doesn't look like Picard. But I think that's what it's supposed to be. And then, who's the other character, Steve?
We got Alf. He's back in nostalgia form.
In magazine form.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, we recently talked about, on our Patreon, we talked about The Naked Gun, and I think we were both blown away by how good Pamela Anderson's performance was.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
You're giving away free information to our...
the lowest of the low.
Well, there's a free preview, guys.
Yes. We watched a movie. Pamela Anderson was very good in that. And then last night, my wife and I watched The Last Showgirl, which I know is not news, but it was on TV and we watched it. And she was also very good in that. So I just want to say that I think that Pamela Anderson is having a moment and I'm here for it. She's a very entertaining actress.
So we should put her in the next Alf show, is that what you're trying to say?
I think that's what I'm saying, yeah, for the Alf reboot.
Well, it's funny, and too, like, you said that Zach Morris is in the picture from Saved by the Bell, and we talked about Saved by the Bell on the Patreon as well. But, like, Mark Paul Gosselaar is another guy who has constantly worked, and is just, like, a working actor. And Steve Urkel, of course, Jill L. White, talking about Star Wars, he was recently in that Star Wars Skeleton Crew, and his character was kind of cool. He was like this weird, like cyborg, like bounty hunter type guy. And yeah, so Alf, what are you doing? You're not doing anything right now. Make a TV show.
Come on, Alf.
All right, after I ate this pussy.
Alf. Is that Alf?
I got all of Willie's coke before he died.
He should star in a show with DJ Khaled. It could be like a buddy cop thing because, they both like to do, one likes to do a thing that the other one doesn't like to do.
And at the end of every episode, there could be a PSA from Michael Douglas talking about the
dangers of cunnilingus.
Yes. You may get cancer like he did. All right. Let's just continue the show. See.
Okay, well, what Marge is most excited about is the Keegan's Pawn meet and greet. And Lisa, though, already has plans to go thrifting with her new hip friends, but seeing the look on Marge's face, she agrees to meet her at the con at 2 o'clock. So Marge is excited for the mother-daughter day. And among the pile of clothes, she sees her Frank Paul donkey shirt, which of course is a play on the 90s brand Paul Frank and their iconic monkey shirt. And she tells Lisa that she has so many fond memories associated with that shirt, and now, because of Lisa, she has one more.
So after a sweet hug, Lisa thinks about the money she'll need to go shopping. So she looks into her piggy bank that's marked cruelty-free and then smashes it with a hammer to find that she's stashed away 28 smackaroos. Lisa's sure that she should have more than enough for a couple of cute fits at the thrift store. Lisa has a rude awakening, though, when she arrives at the Bison Swap, which is a nice spoof of the Buffalo Exchange.
$100 for a t-shirt of an airline that doesn't exist anymore? Why is everything here so expensive?
Shop much? This is how the world of thrifting works. Some used-up 40-year-old donates a box full of clothes from when she mattered, then someone cool but scary slaps a huge price tag on it.
So thrift stores aren't for poor people anymore?
Oh, sweetheart, nothing is.
What a racket. Let's ditch this place. I have a better idea.
So during that conversation, in the background when they're explaining 40-year-olds dropping this off, you see Lindsay Nagel dropping off the stuff to Shauna. This is the type of conversation Steve and I used to in our youth, like in our 20s. Buffalo Exchange was kind of our place. Donate clothes and then pick up stuff. But even then it was, like the whole idea, like it still was kind of pricey. But although when we were younger, I think it was still pretty affordable though.
Yeah, I feel like I don't go thrifting nearly as much as I used to. I do every now and then. And things are just stupid ridiculous, like paying $20+ for a pair of used jeans or like the $100 for a TWA shirt. That's not unreasonable to modern times. And I think it's poignant how they're like, have you been shopping lately? And they're like, it's not for poor people. And nothing is.
Well, even going to like your Goodwills.
Yeah.
Even Goodwills are a lot. You can still like find good jeans and stuff like that for at least good price. But if you see like a pair of Levi's sometimes for like $25 for a pair of Levi's, like Jesus.
And it's so bad because like, growing up not rich, that was a lot of times where we would go not back to school shopping, but like if we needed something every now and then, we'd go shopping at a thrift store, hoping to find some good deals.
You know what's funny is like you think about that, like if you're like in middle school or elementary school and you have to go to the thrift store to get clothes, it's embarrassing. But then as soon as you're in high school and you have a car, like that's the coolest thing ever.
And I think living in Portland, the war zone tool in Portland, it's funny how many people would quote unquote flip clothes, buying stuff and then reselling it online for much more money. And I think that's kind of what caused the thrift market to get so out of control. It's bad.
Yeah. Speaking of Goodwill, that's kind of the same way as like, cause they have now like the people that are the buyers. It used to just be like when you donate to the Goodwill, they would just like put everything out. Now, because of the internet, they know if something's like worth money. So then they'll go on their online store and like, okay, these pair of jeans or this shirt, we're going to post up there and they're going to sell for pretty much what retail was. And like in Portland, I don't know if it's still there. It might have been destroyed by all the missiles and bombs that have been going on in this war-torn city. There was a Goodwill boutique.
Oh, yeah.
Which was like an expensive Goodwill.
I remember hearing about a friend who got a plate set there for $200.
That's probably a good price. I don't know what the price of plates is these days.
Yeah, but like, I mean, maybe I grew up around too many Greek people, but I don't think you should be paying that much for plates.
You can go to the Dollar Tree and get your plate sets and cups for $1. Well, $1.25 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I just remember like going to Buffalo Exchange, you would either get cash or you'd get more if you did store credit.
Mhm.
I think probably the time I was always strapped with cash, I took the cash. But I think now if I did, well, now they'd be like, okay. Although I would probably get it up to it later, but like Marge's clothes that she's kept, like, do you have any like old clothes from like the 90s or early 2000s?
I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't think I do, but like I do remember at one point donating. Me and my girlfriend at the time I donated like 3 shirts, and she donated 2 bags full of stuff, and I walked away with $60, and she walked away with 10.
Oh, that happened to me and an ex. Like I would do the same thing. I would take a bunch of clothes and then I would get more money, and
Yeah,
she'd be pissed off.
guess we were just more fashionable.
What was the other store that was on Hawthorne? There was Buffalo Exchange and the one that was across the street by the theater.
I want to say Red Light. No,
Okay.
that was a prostitute.
No, I think it was like Red something. Yeah. Is it still there? I have no idea. I haven't been down that area in a while.
I mean, if the the military bases aren't there, then yes, I do think that the Red Light is still there.
That was always the more spendy one,
Mm-hmm.
but it had like cooler stuff.
Right. It seemed more compiled, more like collected.
Whereas like you wouldn't find something that said like Gap or Old Navy there, but maybe if you went to the Buffalo Exchange, you would.
Right. I think the best thing, though, was going across the river to your town of Vancouver, especially in the late 90s when, like, old veterans would die and their poor wife would donate the clothes, and so you could buy, like, 5 pair of polyester Levi's for, like, $10, and it'd be great.
Well, that was the Value Village.
Yes,
But
exactly.
they don't have those anymore in our area. I think there might be one in the Oregon's capital, Salem. But yeah, Value Villages were way more exciting because it wasn't like curated how Goodwill is nowadays. All right, well, we got to talk about our 13 days, Steve. So let's just go back to The Simpsons. We'll talk about 90s Con because those exist. We haven't had one in Portland yet, but if they do, I think we'll have to go. Marge strolls through the Nostalgia Con to see what time does to people. So she walks by booths for shows such as
Chilling with Mr. Bro.
Is that Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Indeed. The Mark Curry TJF classic.
Substitute Priest.
Don't Go There.
Talk to the Hand.
Supreme Courtney.
Magnum PI.
That was not a joke. They just had a picture of Tom Selleck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Table for 7.
Palmdale 93510.
And Dusty the Ghoul Assassin.
All right, which one was your favorite fictional show from the 90s?
It's got to be Supreme Courtney. It's really funny.
Is that Courtney Love or Courtney Cox?
Ooh, maybe it's Thorne Smith.
Did you ever see her movie, A Chairman of the Board?
I mean,
should have been spelled Bored.
I miss you, Norm.
I do too. I miss Norm. R.I.P. George Wendt.
Of course, Dusty the Ghoul Assassin is probably a take on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I mean, Palmdale 93510 would be Beverly Hills 90210.
And I don't know what Substitute Priest is a parody of, but I like it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what show that would be. Table for 7, it was up like
Table for 5, which was, I think, Jon Favreau, like back in his Swinger fame days on probably like the IFC.
Swinger the movie, not like
right, not his polyamory.
Sex life.
Yeah. Where he would have like other actors and directors on a roundtable discussion where they had like food. I think he kind of basically did the exact same thing on a Netflix show during the pandemic where he'd have like David Chen, the cook, and then 2 comedians sitting there awkwardly eating food.
In reality, like he was kind of inventing what podcasts become.
Yeah, exactly.
Became. Yeah.
So looking around, Marge feels that everyone either had too much work done or not enough. She then finds the Keegan's Pawn booth with her beloved teenage crush. No, not Bobby Sherman or Ringo Starr or Jamie Farr. It's Sean Garrett Evanson, of course, filling in for James Van Der Beek, and played by former SNL star Paul Britton. The actor asks Marge who to make out the autograph to, but Marge tells him that she wanted to wait and have a pic with him along with Lisa.
After telling Marge that she'll have to pay for 2 selfies, he fills the time by describing his legal actions against the Keegan's Pawn themed slot machines, as they are allegedly rigged against him. As the Paula Cole-esque music plays, the Dawson's Creek theme song, Shaw shows Marge his bloated gut, his ability to do one-handed push-ups, and then weeps in his arms.
Aww.
I like the photo pricing.
Because an autograph is $20, a selfie is $50, and a selfie with touching is $25.
So to be groped, it's cheaper.
Yeah. Now, you go to a con every now and then, much like Captain Kirk and Spock. How is pricing with celebrities pretty expensive these days?
Yeah. But the nice thing is, like, it doesn't mean per person. So if like a selfie, or usually there's like the photo ops, which are more expensive, and then you have to buy the print, which is another like $20. You don't have to buy a print; they'll send it to you digitally, but they gotta make some money, right? And then like the selfie at the booth is cheaper, and then the autograph I think is usually around the same price. And the nice thing is, like, you don't have to, like, individual. So if it's like two people, you can get in onto the photo yourself. So, like, remember we were talking about Parker Posey coming to the Rose City Comic Con a couple months ago, and if you and I went there, it'd be like $60 for a photo op, but we would just split the $60.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, but she didn't get to. She canceled because of the Emmys, and look at her now. None of that show won an Emmy this year. If you only were on Severance, Parker Posey, then you would have won an Emmy, or The Pit.
Is that like ER?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a sequel, but it's not. So if I'm going to start watching The Pit, I gotta probably go back and watch ER all 15 seasons.
I think you should, yeah.
And when I do, I'll let you know every week.
Please do. Keep us updated.
Okay. But like, okay, the Nostalgia Con, I think, is kind of reference to these 90 cons that go around. And I know, like, a lot of, like, the Full House people, like the TGIF people, go to those. And I think that'd be fun to go to a 90s con.
I'd like to see the Parker Lewis panel. I'm trying to think what other shows that, like, don't get all of the fame. Because, like, we talk about Full House probably too much. Family Matters gets a lot of fame. But, yeah, like, maybe a Step by Step or something like the under-the-radar ones, I think.
Yeah, but from Step by Step, who would... Do you want a Patrick Duffy selfie?
That's true. I think that the two Stacey Keenan and the woman who played Al, I think they have a new podcast. Again,
yeah,
getting in on our territory.
Right. And sadly, Suzanne Summers isn't with us anymore.
That's true. And like the guy who lived in the van is a domestic abuser. So Cody, can't have him.
No. Yeah, no, I think, how about a critic panel with Al Jean and John Lovitz?
Ooh, I like it. It stinks.
You think they'd be like a Simpsons panel, but it's still on the air, damn it. Anyways, back to the Simpsons, Steve.
So after some time, Sean Garrett Evanson informed Marge that that he needs to leave to avoid being charged a full day for table rental. So Marge expresses her disappointment in Lisa standing her up, which Sean sees as an opportunity, propositioning Marge to have sex at a men's shelter.
So back at home, Lisa, Vidalia, Devin, and Terry scour through Marge's old clothes, and Vidalia thinks Lisa's fortunate that Marge hung on so many items, as her mother sent all of her best looks to the victims of, some flood. So selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I probably do have like shirts, not from the 90s, but I definitely have like some old clothes that are just like in a basket or bin somewhere, like a trash bag that I'm like, why do I still have these? I'm gonna donate them, and I still haven't. I still have a Carrie 04 shirt. I'm like,
whoa.
Who gave this to me?
Be funny if it had a ketchup stain on it. So Lisa flips through Marge's old yearbook, noting how cool all the moms used to be, and she figures that every other mother in town has an attic full of vintage clothes that have all but been forgotten. So Vidalia likes Lisa's thinking, but what she likes more is that Frank Paul donkey shirt, which she thinks would make a great crop top. So she goes to snip the bottom of the shirt, and Lisa tries to stop her, just as Marge walks in.
What the heck is going on here?
Mom!
I waited for you for hours. I met Keegan. It was unsettling. And the whole time you were here defiling my clothes with the cast of Euphoria?
Oh, well, I didn't think you were ever going to wear this stuff again. I mean, it doesn't even fit you anymore.
Excuse me?
And even if it did fit, you're not cool enough to pull it off.
That's it. I'm taking it all back. Now who's cool?
You, ma'am.
Now make like a banana and peel.
I get it in context, I guess.
Lisa! Hey, girlie. Wanna hang?
You still want to hang? Even after my mom totally mommed out on us?
Please. We don't ditch people just for having crazy mothers.
My mom once set fire to a piano store because she was trying to get a news anchor's attention. Ugh, mission accomplished.
I really love the joke Marge says of make like a banana and peel, and then Devin's like, well, I understand the joke in context. Just very, very funny. It's a good response.
Yeah, I also like the fact that, for the most part, those kids are not just with Lisa because, like, they're still hanging out with her because, they're evil, but they're not that evil.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, that had this been a episode from the 90s, I know this is the idea is like the 90s coming back, but it would have been like, oh, we can't have access to the clothes. You're not cool anymore, Lisa. We hate you. Like, I think it's kind of showing that maybe that kids are more like this generation of kids like are more accepting towards things.
Yeah,
I hope
it's a different age. I think so.
Like bullying is, I'm sure bullying still exists, but hopefully like bullying isn't like as relevant as it was. But I think it's all like cyberbullying these days and not in-person bullying. So bring back in-person bullying, not cyberbullying.
That's right. Do it in person. It's like go touch some grass and then punch a kid.
And shove some peanut butter in their face.
That sounds good to me, but I don't have an allergy, so yeah. So Vidalia invites Lisa to a party at a friend's house, which Lisa is surprised to learn is playing Candyland with Ralph Wiggum. And so Vidalia acts enthusiastic about the board game, noting that Terry has been occupied in the bathroom for some time. So she goes to check on her, which leads Ralph to say that if she should see Ralph in the mirror, she should say hi.
A second later, Devin comments that Vidalia has been checking on Terry for a while and goes to check on Vidalia, checking on Terry. Then the three kids all return saying that it's time to go, and Lisa follows along, leaving Ralph to comment that he's popular. And outside of the house, Lisa wonders why they're leaving and why they came in the first place. She then learns her answer from Vidalia.
Man, what a haul! Vintage Abercrombie flannel, Guess overalls, spaghetti strap dress.
You stole Mrs. Wiggum's old clothes?
It was just sitting in an attic, totally forgotten. Just like you said. Great job as lookout, by the way.
Oh, God, I was an accessory?
No, this is an accessory.
Ah!
You're right. You really don't have the head shape.
Okay. We're thieves. I'm a thief. I'm in a gang of thieves. I'm gonna go to jail and they'll give me a tattoo and I won't even get to pick it.
Girlie, relax. You had a genius idea. We just executed it.
We're keeping these poor, neglected clothes out of the greedy clutches of Big Thrift.
And we're recycling old clothes instead of supporting fast fashion.
It's a victimless crime, which is the second best kind.
I mean, their reasoning, it makes sense.
It really does. I mean, especially appealing to Lisa's better nature, like, fast fashion is pretty bad, and it's hard to escape, and those thrift stores like we're talking about, Goodwill, is a for-profit company that really does not do anything, noble. They just make it look like they're doing noble things. I also like the update of the victimless crime, because in the 90s, when Part was stealing the video game, Jimbo said it was a victimless crime like punching someone in the dark. But Terry's saying it's a victimless crime, which is the second best kind. Which, so in Terry's mind, people getting hurt is better than not.
You wouldn't download a car, would you, Steve?
I mean, I don't drive, so no, I wouldn't.
Well, now you can, thanks to 3D printers.
Ah, yes. And I was recently in California. They have a lot of Waymos and driverless cars, so I'll download one of those.
Waymo sounds like a derogatory term you would have called someone in the 90s.
Shut up, you Waymo. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it works.
You really shouldn't say that, Steve. It's too soon.
Sorry, it's offensive. Yeah.
Lisa attempts to say that victimless crime is still a crime, but when she's given a beret to complete her outfit, she feels that the real crime is looking that good. Lisa convinces herself that the clothes would have just gone to waste, especially since Miss Wiggum wouldn't be passing them down to Ralph. Although I think Ralph would definitely slay in those outfits.
Oh, 100%. I'm an icon. So Vanalia finds Lisa Saban to be a stroke of genius, adding that moving forward, they'll only hit the houses of boy moms to steal clothes. But Lisa's unsure about this. And just then, she receives a passive-aggressive voicemail from her basic mom, reminding her of her dad's disappointment, adding that she hopes that Lisa isn't too trendy to sanitize her retainer.
Lisa opts in for the low-level crime spree, but feels that if they're going to be successful, they can't do it one awkward play date at a time. She wants to get all of the moms out of the house. But how?
Ooh. Just then, Principal Skinner speaks over the PA system, reminding the students about the mother-son dance happening on Saturday. Seymour tells the kids to put on their boogie shoes and mother-respecting bow ties and get ready to partay. He then corrects himself, saying that he actually meant to say party.
What a great callback to the first episode of Simpsons Roasting on Open Fire.
Oh, yes, that's a very good call, yeah.
When Skinner says,
The fourth grade will now favor us with a medley of holiday favorites.
That's so good.
That's the opening of the very first episode.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So Devin is relieved that his mother is doing time for the piano arson. Nice, another callback to what he said earlier. And everyone's pleased with the opportunity. With all of the moms out of the house, the clothes will be ripe for the taking. But what about the dads? And Lisa has the perfect distraction. And I know we're coming to the distractions, great. But I was hoping that like Skinner came on and said something like, "Oh, and don't forget to tell your fathers at the Aztec Theater is screening the newest episode of Clincher."
That would have been really funny. Back at episode 742, Evergreen Terrace, Homer watches Clincher punch a doctor in the face for checking his prostate, while Marge chases Bart around the house, both of them in formal wear. Because Bart doesn't want to attend the mother-son event, but Marge feels that it won't kill him to slow dance with her in front of all of his friends.
I just love that this is a thing that doesn't exist is the mother-son dance.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's, of course, Skinner, because Agnes would do it. It's a parody of the, I'm sure they still do it, the father-daughter dance. And I didn't do any research, but I'm wondering, is the father-daughter dance, do you think this is like went back to olden times when like they were trying to find suitors for their daughters?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, it just seems weird to me, and it seems like such a Republican thing. Again, not a political podcast, but
yeah.
Am I going to have to do this? Like, is this a thing in our area? It seems weird. I mean, I have no problem with like my baby and I go, like dancing with her in the living room or whatever. That's perfectly fine. But getting like dressed up and like going to like a dance with a bunch of like preteen girls, it seems weird to me.
Yeah, like I get like, on your daughter's wedding day to like have a daddy-daughter dance, like that seems normal. But yeah, to show up to like middle school or high school, just being like, here's my date, which is, my daughter, and here are you with all your dates who are also 14. Like, usually we have to be an island to do all of this, but nope, now we're here.
Is it just like dad's like, check out how hot my daughter is? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's all creepy.
All right, I propose that we just have we have daddy-son dances.
I like it.
And all we do is the scene from Risky Business where we're in our underwear and dancing to old-time rock and roll.
Seems no less creepy.
And then we'll talk about Scientology after. Okay.
Lisa walks down the stairs complimenting Marge's dress with the minimal amount of kindness. And Marge thanks her, adding that she's glad that it still fits. So Lisa says, barely, under her breath. And so Marge goes to joke Lisa Homer style, but Bart steps in between them, saying that Lisa isn't worth the trouble. I like Bart being the voice of reason. So as they head to the dance, Marge tells Lisa that there's some lasagna in the fridge and that she should eat around the beef.
Great scene. In the shadows of the night, Lisa joins Vidalia, Devin, and Terry in the bushes. Vidalia pulls out a map of all Springfield's fashion hotties, saying that all of the moms are at the dance. And Lisa then pulls out her secret weapon, the dad distractor, which is just a universal remote control.
So Lisa sneaks under the living room window, changing the channel inside to show the Clincher punching out a bartender, and Clerk Van Houten stops in his tracks to watch, being fully clinched. And so the fashion thieves sneak into the Van Houten household, digging through Luann's attic full of old apparel.
Okay, this isn't how universal remotes work. Lisa would have to go look at what brand the TV is, look in the little book, put in the code, and then do it.
Also, I guess it's been a while for me. Do people still have universal remotes? Because I feel like people don't have devices anymore. Like, because usually you had a universal remote because you would have a VCR, a DVD player, a stereo, and a TV, and you wanted to control them all with one remote. But now everything's just a TV. You know what I mean?
Steve, as someone who promotes physical media, like DVD players, I have a universal basic remote.
Okay, well then I guess that makes sense.
Actually, no, my remote now is because I have the smart TV, but you know how like when you get a smart TV, like it could be like an Android or Roku based, and mine's an Android based, and the Android apps just suck. So I have a nice Roku like streamer box for the TV, but the Roku remote operates the TV as well as the sound bar and TV, so it turns on and off, and I can do the volume. So technically, my Roku remote, I guess, is a universal remote.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I have a smart TV as well, but it's not Roku based, and you're right. Those Android, they suck. Really bad interface.
I think Roku is just like the most easiest, user-friendly streamer box.
I agree. Not a sponsor, but yeah, I miss my Roku. Anyway, it's a weird bit of advertising. Next, they sneak to the house of Dr. Hibbert, who is scrolling through his phone on the couch, ignoring the nature documentary on TV. So Lisa changes it to Clincher punching someone else, and Julia stands up and crosses his arms, watching the TV in full dad mode. I love that the image of Dr. Hibbert just like standing 2 feet in front of the TV with his arms crossed, because like that's the way my dad would watch football. It just feels so real. So this allows the little bling ring to steal a Pro 92 shirt, a Yo Quiero Taco Bell t-shirt, and Lisa finds a shirt that says Bennifer, round 1.
As more dads are struck by streaming TV violence based on airport quality novels, ooh, that's editorial there by Steve in the script, Lisa and her gang steal rack after rack of vintage clothing. Meanwhile, in the auditorium of Springfield Elementary, Marge finds the dance to be lovely, and Seymour says that after he and Agnes were dealing with some issues, their couples therapist suggested the dance. When the DJ plays what Marge believes her and Bart's song, Bart makes a run for it.
Seymour, I didn't wear my fancy orthopedics for you to chit-chat. I asked the DJ to play Hungry Eyes.
Bart, Hungry Eyes!
You'll never catch me alive!
Bart, if you don't boogie with me, I'll lead a mom dance in the center of the gym. Aha!
Okay, this is the big score. The motherlode of mother clothes. Martin, Prince's mom.
I heard her sister used to manage an Aeropostale and had a 10% discount.
Whoa. Let's do this.
Oh my god, these sick freaks don't have a TV!
First off, what, as of now, like, Lisa, her generation is like Gen Alpha? She's like too young to be Gen Z, right?
Right.
I feel like her generation, especially with David saying these sick freaks don't have a TV, I feel like kids that age, again, I'm thinking, do they even care about TVs? Like, they only care about their tablets, right? Like, that's how they watch things.
Right, and even then, they don't watch a lot of quote-unquote TV shows. They probably watch most of the stuff on, like, Twitch or YouTube.
And TikTok.
And TikTok, of course.
I also want to describe the visual of the Prince's household. Like, I don't know if we've ever been to the Prince household before. If so, they probably just showed their house, like, just being, like, in a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But they always seem kind of well off. I didn't know that they were this rich. This house is, like, a $5 million house on, like, Lake Springfield, it looks like.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a jealous type, but I kind of am. I want to live there. I can't afford to live in this house. I want this house.
I mean, maybe if we didn't spend all our time watching TV, we could afford this.
But clearly, if you don't have a TV, you're successful in life.
Yeah. Also, we learned that Martin's mom's maiden name is Gibson, which is something.
Whoa. His name is Martin, which also is Martin Guitars, and her last name is Gibson, which also makes guitars.
And Gareth is also a name.
Yes.
But yeah, shocked to learn that the Prince family doesn't own, and also their last name now is Prince, and Prince played guitar. So shocked to learn that the Prince family doesn't own a TV. Devin calls his co-conspirators to warn them, but they enter the house anyway, unaware. So instead, they're taken aback by what they find: a Spice Girls tour jacket, jelly sandals, and sweatpants with words written on the butt.
While they search through the clothing, Lisa and her new pals cause a ruckus, which draws the attention of Gareth Prince, who is enjoying a book. Nerd. From outside, Devin warns the girls to get out of the attic. Vidalia and Terry use a trellis to climb down, but as the alarm blares, Lisa's distracted by the Frank Paul donkey shirt, just like the one Marge loved. So she goes to swipe the shirt when she hears a frightening voice.
Attention intruders, we know you're in the house. Police are on their way.
Oh no!
Exit the premises immediately. I know that the neighbors always have a lot of cash.
They hide a key in the flower pot.
Oh, how did I ever rationalize this as anything other than a literal crime? I'm not a fashionista. I'm a criminal. Mom?
I'll explain in the dinghy.
Where did you get a dinghy?
Do you want to escape or not? Yes.
Whoa!
While I'm busy getaway paddling, why don't you tell me, what were you thinking?
I'm so sorry, Mom. You just wanted to bond with me, and I ruined it. I'm such a terrible daughter.
Remember, I'm with you for the long haul. As long as there's a pond and a ladder, I'll be there.
Aw.
And I guess you had to establish that the Martin family, the Prince family, was on a pond so they can bookend it with the boat in the episode they watched in the first episode.
That makes sense.
I do like how Gareth is, of course, cowering in his panic room. The audio's.
So, after a sweet hug, Lisa wonders how Marge knew about her whereabouts. And Marge replies that a mother always knows is the name of the kid trapping app that she uses on Lisa's phone. What if that works on other kids? Marge adds that she also tracks Bart, who's at the dance, and he finds it to actually be kind of fun when it's not, your own mom. So as he dips Luann, Milhouse jealously cuts in, reminding Bart that she's the lady that he came with.
And Bart will be the lady he comes with later.
Exactly.
I like this, Bart actually having fun.
Mm-hmm. Is that why he's friends with Milhouse, as he just wants to get with Luann?
Well, remember when he sells his soul, he gets to hang out with Luann, and maybe he developed a crush on her.
Maybe, yeah.
Did they ever do that, future episodes? We always see Milhouse was always with Lisa. There should be an episode where Luann, when Bart's older, is dating Luann.
I would like the dynamic of, Milhouse being his, stepson. I think it'd be fun.
All right, who wrote this future episodes? Bart to the Future was originally written by Jan Greeny, but I'm thinking more of future past, those ones. Days of Future, Holiday Futures Past, J. Stewart Burns. I think that's who I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tweet J. Stewart Burns and tell him we got a pitch.
Will do.
And he won't listen to us because we're not WGA or SAG or talented.
That's true, but as I get older, things do start to sag, so.
Back on that boat, Lisa notices the sirens have stopped. Marge explains that Homer is taking care of the cops, clincher style, which you thinking Homer is beating up the cops, which is a very funny scene in my head. But it's actually the Springfield PD and Gareth Prince are actually watching clincher on his tablet, where the action hero is arrested, asking his officers if he has the right to remain violent. More punching is heard, and men cheer, including Clancy, who says, "Take that, stupid pigs."
And after all that, Lisa isn't in too much trouble and looks to make some plans for the future.
So, your mom didn't even yell at you? Wow, she's pretty cool.
Well, I am grounded for the next 8 months. But when that's over, do you guys want to come over and watch Keegan's Pond? It's really good.
Ew, why would anyone watch a show from the 90s?
I love that dress, by the way.
Oh, this? Oh, thanks. I've had it literally forever.
Pick up the pace, people. I want everything you stole returned by the end of the day. Well, almost everything.
I really like them saying, who would watch a show from the 90s?
And then Lisa commenting on her dress like she's had it literally forever.
And I want to talk about the lack of media literacy in the modern age, because I checked the subreddit to see what people think of that joke or think of this episode in general. And there were so many comments that said, it's really rich of the Simpsons saying who would watch a show from the 90s. But thankfully, there are plenty of Simpsons fans who replied to that with Rainier Wolfcastle as a stand-up comic saying that's a joke. So good on them.
That's funny. Well, with Marge happy to have her Frank Paul shirt back and everything's back to normal, that's our episode. Steve, I think I need to take a break, gather my thoughts, and do all the fun bits we do at the end. All right, we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. Let's finish up this week's episode, Thrifty Ways to Thieve Your Mother. We'll talk about some of our favorite scenes and jokes, maybe find a most valuable jokester. We'll give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all that is done, we'd like to find something from this episode that could be gifted or thrifted to our friends. That is the co-host. You're our friend, Steve.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we're not giving gifts to our friends, just you or me. Well, obviously, I think Marge's closet or attic is sufficient enough presents to give you, and I'm sure that'll be a thing. But just the one shirt, oh man, there's the TWA shirt that they find. I think you'd like that, but I think you would like the Yo Quiero Taco Bell shirt, so there you go.
Thank you.
You are going to get a selfie with touching with Keegan, so there's your $25 gift card.
Wow.
It's already paid for that, so you can't use anything else, of course. You can have this gift, but you have to follow the instructions and adhere to them. You can live in Martin Prince's house, but you can't have the TV, or you can have what's in this box.
The box.
All right. And I open the box, and it's ladies' feminine hygiene deodorant for your, all the words that they said for the vagina in this episode.
Oh, good, because my elbow crotch has been sneaking, so.
Hey, you have those. All right. And I guess that's it.
Oh, thank you, Craig. That's very nice of you. It's, you got me so many good things. It's like, what can I possibly get you that one of us doesn't already have? But, of course, I got you a DVD set, but no, not of Keegan's Pond, because that's a little bit on the nose. So I got you the complete DVD set of Kevin Kline's entire filmography. That's right. You do get Dave. You get A Fish Called Wanda. You get Wild Wild West. You get French Kiss. You get several episodes of Bob's Burgers. And you even get, we'll say, his performance on Great Performances. So you get all of that. And you get some boba tea, because I know how much you love boba tea. And why not a Vidalia onion, just for fun.
I do like a Vidalia onion.
Yeah, they're very good.
Steve.
Yes.
What made you laugh in this episode?
Well, I do like some of the directing of the animation, particularly when they're watching Keegan's Pond and Marge is braiding Lisa's hair while Lisa is combing the dog while the dog is cleaning Snowball 2. Very cute. I love all the dads watching TV in dad mode, standing up, as I mentioned. I like Devin's sassiness. I thought he was a lot of fun. I don't know. I think Bart might be my MVJ. I liked him being the voice of reason between Marge and Lisa. And I don't know. I just thought he was fun. Also, I thought the clincher stuff was a good time. I like the quips and the Homer saying, I hope that ambulance has medicine in it. Very funny. What about you, Craig? What do you think?
I think I said it in the show, but my favorite scene still is the make like a banana and peel, and
yes.
Devin be like, well, I understand the joke in context. So that was a very funny line. I appreciate that Lisa's friends, and again, we discussed it, don't abandon her after they can't get the clothes. So that's a nice touch. I think Bart is pretty good in this, especially when Marge is trying to choke Lisa and Bart intervenes. That's a nice switcheroo, especially Bart at the dance, too. Yeah, Bart was fun having him dance with Lan. That's funny. This is his season premiere, and the last year's season premiere was about Bart's birthday. And all we're talking about is Bart, even though he's not really the story.
Yeah, it's true.
Main part of the story. For MVJ, I think Devin has a lot of sass and a lot of his, him talking about his mom burning down a piano store. Do I give it to a guest star? And Stephanie Shu as Vidalia is also well voiced. Maybe I'll give it to the Devin and Vidal.
Yeah, that's good.
They'll get my MVJs. Steve, give us our review.
Okay, well, I do appreciate all of the TV parodies. The fact that this episode is kind of like a love letter to TV in a way is nice. Both Marge finding her beloved show and then Homer finding his new action hit. I kind of alluded this in the beginning, but I think it's a little underwhelming for a season premiere. That being said, though, I think it was kind of fun. I like that it's a Lisa-Marge storyline. That is something we don't get a lot of. But I do also feel like the trope of two characters bond over a shared thing only for one person to screw it up is also familiar territory, like last year with Mo and Abe enjoying baseball, for instance. That being said, I think this is it's a watch for me. I think it was fun. I like that it's kind of a different direction of a normal episode. I like that Lisa was not a bad kid, but like a real kid. Like it felt very normal. And I think that this was, a good time at the show. And if I had to give it a ranking, and I suppose that I do, we mentioned that Clincher was inspired by Jack Reacher, and Jack Reacher was inspired by the novelizations of the series. And to date, there are 29 Reacher books. So out of 29, I'm going to give this a 22. What are your thoughts, Craig?
I'm going to say I think I like this episode more than you. I think this worked well as a season premiere. I think when season premieres happen, I really want it to be a kid-focused and something with the school. Because when I was thinking of season premieres, I always think of the youth of my day. And
Sure.
I think of like going back to school. This is the beginning of the year. That means this is the beginning of the TV season. Now I know that's not a thing because new TV shows and seasons, and it doesn't matter what time of the year show comes on because there's always something new for the streaming years. And I like the dynamic between Lisa and Marge. It's rare where you get like them butting odds with each other. It's usually Bart is the butting odds with the parents, and usually it's Lisa butting with Homer. And I just love the snarkiness. I know this is like they're portraying more of like, I would feel like more like tweens would be rather than like a kid who's 8 years old. But I like how she just kind of gives Marge shit and Marge gives Lisa shit. I think this is a very natural thing. And it's a very natural thing that like when you're a parent growing up, I'm going to have to deal with this.
It's true. Yeah.
The missus is going to have to deal with this with our daughter, when she reaches the tween ages. And I think that just says, I just think the message too at the end with Lisa, like, I understand you just wanted to have this bonding. I screwed up. And this is such a nice like sitcom episode. Like this could be like we talk about Full House all the time. This could have been a Full House episode.
It's true.
Could you imagine DJ like going through like Uncle Jesse's wardrobe? Like, man, I'm going to wear this stuff. I think this is a perfectly cromulent beginning. I think I liked it more. Hopefully I'll remember it. Unlike the other Jessica Conrad episodes. And you're right, Steve. Jack Reacher has 29 novels. I'm glad you found my ranking. But I'm not going to rank this in a number. I'm just going to rank it in the book that I think this episode is as good as. Now, of course, we know the very first book was Killing Floor.
Of course.
Chronologically, it's only the fifth in the story, because if we talk about the first Jack Reacher really is the 8th book, which is the first story, and that's The Enemy. We all know this.
Well, of course.
The 29th novel being, of course, Into Deep, which is what your wife said. Not to me, though.
Of course.
The 30th birth actually coming up this year, November 4th, Steve.
Ooh.
It's almost your birthday.
That's right.
It's called Exit Strategy, which is also what your wife said. But no, I'm going to give this what your wife will always say to you, Steve. No, not the 26th novel, Better Off Dead, but the 27th novel, No Plan B. So I'd say this is a watch. I'm glad Disney brought Jimmy Kimmel back because we probably wouldn't have watched this episode if they didn't. So
that's true. They're the real heroes.
And to the people that canceled their subscription to Disney Plus, only to get it back a week later, and then we'll get a price hike in less than a week.
Yeah, man, capitalism is dumb.
Anyways, that being said, Steve, we got to find out what we're watching next week. And of course, we don't need to get a wheel of random because we know it's a new episode.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Steve, You know it's going to be season 37, episode 2.
Right.
What do you think the title's going to be?
Well, of course, this week was Thrifty Ways to Thieve Your Mother. And of course, you expect me to say, well, of course, it's going to be another Paul Simon song. But it's not. So I'm going to go completely different. And I'm going to say that next week's episode is going to be called Sweet Baby Homer.
Oh, a James Taylor parody, right? Sweet Baby James.
Exactly.
At first, I thought you were going to say it's going to be an Art Garfunkel song. And I was going to say, can you even name an Art Garfunkel solo song? I don't think you can, Steve.
Hey, that was almost like my exact reason of thinking.
Or you could have done the other joke of like, I'm not going to say a Paul Simon song. I'm going to say a Simon and Garfunkel song. But you're absolutely wrong. Like always, the episode is, I can't wait to hear what you think this plot's going to be. But I already know we might like it. Because it's called Keep Chalm and Gary On.
Ooh, I like it already.
Sounds like a title we would have came up with.
Yes. So I'm going to say that Gary Chalmers outs himself as an Anglophile. And he becomes obsessed with the British family, the royal family. He becomes a real royal watcher, if you will. So he has to go to England and find out what all the people are up to, especially Prince Andrew.
Well, I think we know what Prince Andrew's up to. Just look at the Epstein files, Steve.
Allegedly. I mean, who can say what's on those or not? Really?
We'll never know.
That's right. And then in the B plot, Homer and Kirk become basketball players, and they have an epic game of horse that are defeated by the Harlem Globetrotters, who make a guest appearance.
Steve, it's about the Savannah Bananas now, not the Globetrotters.
Of course, I'm sorry, the Savannah Bananas.
Thank you. Of course, everything is wrong, except for the fact that Homer is in the episode. But, in reality, Homer gets Super Nintendo Chalmers a job at the power plant.
Oh.
There, Chalmers discovers huge mutated snails that produce valuable slime, launching his new career as a manosphere guru. Yeah, cool. I'm going to assume he loses his job as superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me that he'll get his job back, though.
I think so. I'm really curious about the manosphere guru.
It says valuable slime. I'm wondering if this is like a take on the kid's toy of slime.
Oh, maybe. Of course, the most valuable slime.
Onion head?
That's true. I was also going to say it also involves the manosphere, but...
Oh, right. Simon. Do you ever notice how slime is plural of lime, but the S came first?
Wow. I hadn't, but I will say that I can't say slime without smile.
All right, Steve, we have it on the books. We know what we're watching next week.
Mm-hmm.
We do the Wheel of Random. So thanks, everyone, for listening. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/AnnoyedGruntBoys because we have a bonus episode every week. And wait a minute. Steve, we don't talk about the new music or movies during the new episodes. And we didn't discuss what the bonus episode is this week.
I know, because we can't talk about the number one hit movie, One Battle After Another, because, I do want to talk about that movie because everyone's talking about One Battle and After Another, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie directed by Paul Thomas Anderson that everyone knows about. So what are we going to talk about?
Honestly, I would, because I kind of want to watch that movie. I saw the trailer. It looks good.
I looked it up just for the fun of it, and I had never heard of it.
Yeah, it looks good. It's Paul Thomas Anderson. Anyways, we're not going to go to the theaters for that, Steve. I think we have to...
Gotta figure it out.
We didn't really talk about it, but this episode, there was 2 TV shows that were parodied.
That's true.
The Reacher, and that's a very popular show on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And then, too, of course, Dawson's Creek, which I believe just celebrated its 25th anniversary. And it had a reading for the first episode, I think, and the entire cast showed up, except for James Van Der Beek, who's going through serious stomach cancer right now, and hope all is well for him.
Yes.
So maybe we should watch the first episode of Reacher or the first episode of Dawson.
Here's the thing is, I've never seen either one. And yes, we could watch Reacher, but I don't want to wait for our lives to be over to watch Dawson's Creek. So I kind of feel like we should watch the season premiere of that.
I kind of want to watch Reacher. I know it's supposed to be just fun dad porn like they talk about in this episode.
Wait. You got to clarify when you say dad porn, because that's a whole nother subgenre.
Okay. I mean, dad TV, not dad porn.
Right.
just out of revenge porn. Revenge porn. There we go.
There it is. Yes.
Not dad porn. So that would be too much fun for me. But I feel like on the bonus episodes, I've been having too much fun.
Mhm.
That's what's great about it. Like, I got to watch Thor again. I got to watch an episode of Saved by the Bell. I got to watch King of the Hill. I got to watch a Family Guy.
It's good times.
We got to watch the last episode of Dinosaurs. I think you're right. I think we have to do the Creek.
Yes. Because I want to know, is the creek named after Dawson or is it just a coincidence? Because I have no idea.
I did watch the series when it first came to streaming. Like, there was a handful of TV shows that started streaming. I think The Creek was one of them. And I remember, like, they didn't have the Paulo Coelho for, they didn't have the rights to stream it. And it was like some weird, like, not song.
Uh-huh.
I didn't finish the series, though. So, yeah, I think that should be fun. Look, what's great about our Patreon is when we watch episodes or movies, I think a lot of people, like, if I listen to How Did This Get Made, I don't actually watch all the movies.
True.
I think I've maybe seen like 2 or 3. It's them talking about it and a little bit of the plot they talk about. I think that's what's fun about this is like, we're not asking you as Patreon members to watch Dawson's Creek episode 1. Just listen to us talk about it.
Yeah, experience it through us.
Yes. And, maybe you'll watch it to see if it's ridiculous. It's been a while. I do remember the first episode, I think, was Joey coming through the window, like in this episode of The Simpsons. And I do remember like him having like the Jurassic Park poster up and maybe like a Jaws, like he was all about Spielberg. So that's our Patreon Friday exclusive this week is the first episode of Dawson's Creek. You can watch it, of course, on our favorite streaming service, Disney Plus or Hulu. All right. All that is said and done. But if you want to talk to us, please email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com or contact us on social at YouTube or Instagram at 13simpsons.
And hey, go to your favorite podcatching app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent, and leave a review, but you don't need to write a real review. Just tell us about your beloved piece of 90s fashion.
And speaking of fashion, go to tpublic.com/user/annoyed grunt boys to get some annoyed grunt boy fashion lathered on your body.
That's right.
All right, for this week, I've been annoyed grunt boy Craig.
And I've been annoyed grunt boy Steve.
And remember, make like a banana and peel.
Looks like it's dingleberry season.
Butt cleft, underpouch, stink flaps, peat bog, smuckle, stunk tank, between hatch, gunk channel, boob swamp, elbow crotch,